Oh,
All right, lads and gents and ladies, scumbags and scallywags. Welcome to another episode of Paddy and the Yank podcast. I hope you feel good, because I do. Paddy, how do you feel?
yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today, Yank.
Yeah,
It's pissing
not looking
down.
so good.
Why am I not looking so good?
I'm joking. You look so good.
Fucking touch
Making me wish
Yeah.
I was wearing less.
Look at this. It's pissing down rain outside, so I'm actually delighted we've got a bit of rain over here now.
The rain is nice.
Yeah, it hasn't rained here for quite a while.
Some people get wet. How's that go?
Bob Marley said some people feel the rain while others just get wet.
Yeah.
I feel the rain and I get wet, so I don't know what he was doing. Anyways, for any new listeners to the podcast, we like to feature original music or songs from people around the world at the end of each episode. So today we've got somebody from Mumbai, currently living in Berlin in Germany, and this is Anru Singh Kohan. I hope I pronounced that name right. So stick around at the end of the podcast to hear some good original music. And if you want to support this podcast, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Paddy Yank podcast.
Buy me a coffee.
Leave that T out. I couldn't fit the T in, so it's podcast. If you want to buy us a coffee, we need a new fucking interface. So if anybody wants to help out,
I'll tell you what I need.
buy us a coffee.
What I need and want is an Irish coffee.
Speaking of Irish coffee, we have a special guest on the podcast today.
We do. I feel like I'm getting like I'm losing power here because the people we're interviewing tend to be more and more Irish. We're getting more and more Irish and less American.
Well, we've only had one Irish person on the podcast so far, haven't we?
Oh, really?
What's his name? Jared.
Who did we interview last? Oh, I guess
Scientist.
Matan. He was American.
Yeah.
You're right. I've
Majority have been American.
created a whole world in my head. None of it's accurate.
All right. So today's guest is Ryan Sheehan, and he is from Cork, and he's a 3-time Muay Thai world champion.
I was going to
Yank.
say... I was going to say Ryan Sheehan. Would that not be right?
I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah? Ryan Sheehan?
You got it right. That's the name, Ryan Sheehan.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say Sheehan, but he'd say Sheehan.
Sheehan.
Yeah, people, foreigners technically say it wrong, but look, we won't get into that today.
Wow.
All right. So what's the crack, anyways?
Pleasure
Ryan, how
to
you
meet
doing?
you.
It's good. It's Saturday morning. It's actually sunny in Ireland, so that's a good sign.
Really?
So I'm smiling for that.
Really? You're down in Cork City, or what part of Cork are you from?
Cork City.
Cork City, huh?
Geographically, where is that? Northeast, southwest?
Down south.
South. Wow.
The real capital.
Wow. No offense, but you kind of sound like a Rasta, which is funny. We were just talking about Bob Marley.
Maybe I'm a bit of a Rasta inside. Who knows?
That's that Cork accent. They got a strong.
Yeah,
accent
I'm
down there.
I'm not a Rasta.
So you were saying it's the real capital of Ireland, but I was actually reading recently that Cork, people are saying Cork is the foodie capital of Ireland. What's that all about?
We've got there's great food down here. Like it's it's better than anywhere for food. Yeah, the food is quality.
Food
Not
capital.
quality. Yeah.
Quality over
really?
quantity.
I don't know if I've ever had like real Irish food. What are the foods that you're known for?
Homemade dinners, like you'd have your coddle, your stews, your shepherd's pies, your bacon and cabbage. They are Irish kind of dinners.
What was the first one? Coddles?
Coddle, so like it's boiled poppies, boiled sausages, boiled rashers, boiled onions, all in a pot.
Wait, what's a poppy? Boiled
Spud
poppies?
potato.
Oh, potatoes.
That's what you call potatoes in Cork, poppies, yeah?
Yeah, poppies. We call them poppies.
Potato?
A potato, yeah.
A potato's called a poppy?
In Cork, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I never heard of that. And what else? That sounds like a stew, kind of like a stew, no?
A stew would have more vegetables in it, and it would have like a different meat.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Do you guys in Ireland or Cork specifically eat much rice?
Yeah, well, I eat a lot of rice, yeah, but there's, a lot of people eat Chinese here, so I suppose, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, because growing up in the U.S., we never ate rice. We ate potatoes, and I fucking love potatoes, or what we call them, papas. I love potatoes, but in Taiwan, the chosen carbohydrate is rice, and I eat rice all the time. I'm always kind of like, I wish these were fucking potatoes. You know?
Yeah, is the steamed rice?
Yeah, but
best.
Yeah,
but you got it coming out your fucking ears, like.
Yeah, have you ever had purple or black rice before?
I've had purple rice, but I never had black rice.
Dude, that shit's the jam. Well, sometimes they'll take like some black rice and mix it with white rice, and then the pigment will go onto the white. But the purple rice and the black rice, I think that's the best.
Yeah, Yank, the rice isn't
texture.
supposed to be black. It's just when you burn the fucking thing.
Yeah, like I've heard of purple rice and I've had it, but I've never had black rice. So I'd say that could have been you.
He's the only
I
person
think-
I ever see with black rice.
I think black rice is just really dark purple rice.
That's what happens when you leave it in the frying pan too long.
Yeah. Trying to fry the fucking thing. On the topic of Cork, I'll knock out a couple of questions here early because I've never. When I was a kid, I actually spent a bit of time in Cork in a place called Castletown Bear.
Oh yeah, well that's West Cork, so that's like from the city. That's about 2-3 hours drive.
Yeah, beautiful place down there. Very beautiful place.
Aye, brilliant.
Got some beaches down there like Irish Beach and stuff. I remember as a kid I spent some time down there. I won't give away my surname, but my surname is a Cork name. And
we'll have to get it
Cork
on you in a
name.
minute.
My ancestors were running shit down there back in the day, 400 years ago.
Is it Murphy?
No. We probably killed all the Murphys. Yeah, all right. So give us a Cork saying. Give us a saying that comes from Cork.
What's the crack?
Well, I think that's Irish, generic Irish. Give me something that I might know from Mayo.
From Mayo.
I'm a Mayo. Well, I was born in Dublin, but I grew up in Mayo.
Cork slang, Jesus. I'm just trying to think now because there's so many that we use. Instead of saying what's the crack, we probably say like what's the story, or we just say story.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of what we use down here. Like what's the story?
What's the story?
How you keeping is kind of like, you know, we'd say like how you doing instead of how you keeping. You know, things like that.
How you doing?
It's not there's not a lot of slang to be fair down here. Like people do use like different words. Like I suppose English is probably a little better than the rest of Ireland. It's
What's the story makes more sense to me than what's the crack.
Yeah, what's the crack?
But everywhere in Ireland uses what's the crack.
Yeah, I understand it now, but when I first started podcasting with him, it took me a while to understand how to use it in sentences. But now I know. Try
it in Canada when you're living in Canada and you're in a fucking gym full of people and you're like, oh, what's the crack? And they're like, crack? Man, no, you know crack in here. Like, what the fuck are you on? Oh, never mind. She's crack. The amount of times I had to fucking tell people what it meant. It's like, fucking hell. All right, another question about Cork. Name a famous Cork person that the Yank might know.
Cillian Murphy.
Killian
Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Blinders.
The main guy out of Peaky Blinders. He played in the Batman movies. He was the Scarecrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't even know he was Irish.
I thought he was fucking from Galway City.
As far as I think he's Cork, isn't he?
No idea.
I don't know. Like, I don't think there's that many famous people from Cork on a global scale. Like,
okay.
Most famous person from Cork is I don't even know. It's probably Roy Keane.
Oh, Roy Keane's Cork. All right, okay.
Roy Keane.
He's north side of Cork. He played for Manchester United.
He was a midfielder, wasn't he? Midfielder?
Yeah. Roy Keane's probably the most famous person from Cork.
Manchester United, a football team, a British football team.
Does that mean soccer?
Yes.
Okay, who's a
soccer.
midfielder soccer player?
Football where they actually kick the ball with their feet and don't pick it up with their hands and throw it like in American football.
Got you. All right, I got it.
And another one. So, Ryan, I only found out recently that you were fighting in the One Championship and that you're actually a 3-time Muay Thai world champion.
Yes, that's correct.
So being a combat sports fan, I competed in amateur boxing in Canada, and the Yank here does a bit of boxing over here. I was instantly like, what? We have a 3-time world champion who fights Muay Thai in Ireland? What the fuck? So I went on and I was checking you out. And first of all, the first thing that came to my mind was, where did you first hear about Muay Thai and where did you start training it? Because I've been to Thailand myself and done a bit of Muay Thai as well. But can you tell me, coming from Cork, where did you hear about Muay Thai and why did you start training Muay Thai?
So I played soccer or football. We're going to have to use the term soccer now because he's going to get it confused with American football. And I'm not having it.
Yes. I'm with you.
We're just going to have to use the term soccer for today. Look,
but every time we say it, we have to say it in an American accent, like soccer. All right?
Soccer.
So why do you play soccer?
So I was always into like sports. So like I went from Gaelic and football. I played first. That's where I started off, Gaelic hurling football. And then I went playing like soccer when I was like 15 because the soccer season was finishing, say like end of May, April kind of. So I was looking for the next thing to do just to keep me ticking over till the end of the summer so I could go back playing soccer. And a couple of the lads I went to school with, I was 15, so it was kind of like that age group where like some of the lads stopped playing sports and the rest of the lads were just hanging around the place. And it was like, summertime, so the weather was good. And the lads, a couple of the lads from school were like, we're going down to this Thai boxing class if you want to come along. So I did. I went down like one night on a Tuesday, and I instantly fell in love with it. Like, I quit football for it straight away. Like, my football trainers were trying to get me back, come back training, and but by August time when the season was coming back around, like, I had no interest in signing back up to play soccer. Like, so I literally like abandoned soccer for Thai boxing, because after about two months of it, I felt like this is something I could see myself doing for a long time,
as a career.
Wow.
Well, back then you don't see how like the vision like wasn't as clear back then, but like when I started off, it was just kind of like I didn't fight for a while. I took about 9 months before I competed first. But my very first fight was like against the European champion.
Seriously?
So yeah.
The champion of Europe.
Yeah. So he was like a junior champion of Ireland of Europe, and he beat me like on split decision. He didn't beat me by much.
Yeah.
So I went off and like I kept training, and I had like a 10-fight win streak then, and then like I was probably about mid-16s, like nearly 17, and like I was earning a small bit of money from it, like at this stage already. Not like a lot of money, but it was maybe £50 every time. When you're 16, 17, like it's nice pocket change, and then obviously it developed up a bit, like. But yeah, that's how it started off, just from playing soccer and the season finishing and just going into it then.
Man, almost like it was meant to be, like. But it is, when you talk about something like that, like my brother was boxing since he was 10 and he was competing, and I would hang around the gyms and stuff, but I never really got into it. But it was always something in my mind. I was like, I want to fucking do this. I want to get in the ring. So I moved to Canada in 2011. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it here. I feel the Canadians might be a bit easier to beat than the Irish. But once I started training that, I gave up drinking. I was like, I'm completely dedicated to this. Like, it's so addictive. Like, do you know what I mean? And when you're in there, like, I've seen your fighting style. You're very, I wouldn't even say aggressive, but you come forward. You're a come forward fighter, and you're calculated, and you've got fast hands. And your kicks. I watched your recent fight in the One Fighting Championship against that Thai legend. That guy's had like 300 fucking fights. That was
300 wins.
Those kicks. You were taking off him. Like I trained a bit of K1 in Ireland before, and it's not fun taking a leg kick. Like,
no, they look fucking brutal. I was watching your one fight last night.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Go ahead.
You have to kind of be mentally prepared for it. Like, it's because I've been out running on the road, and like I could be out running, like I do probably 5 to 10 kilometers most days, and I'm out running and I see people running past me, like, who are out running as well, and I'm in my head going, they're only running to get fit. I'm running to survive.
Yeah.
So like, there's a big difference. Like, when I see the average person running on the road, and I'm out running beside them or like towards them or something.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, they're running to get fit. I'm actually running to survive. Like, it's a different mentality you have to have. Like, I always say to the lads in the gym that it's kill or be killed situation. Like, you're training as hard as you can to hurt this guy. He's training as hard as he can to hurt you. So like, what I say to the lads the minute the bell rings, I'm like, you have to hurt him first.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to like take everything and just give it everything. That's just your mentality has to be switched on.
Yeah.
You have to be tough with it. You have to know like the consequences of the fight, because you're going in there to fight a guy who is going to try and take you out of it. So you have to be, because when I see guys like going in have like maybe 1 or 2 fights and they're not that like vicious, or they're not that aggressive. Or they're only doing it just for a pastime, where then like I come along, like, and my whole life has been shaped by Muay Thai. So like, I'm thinking like, I'm going in here like, I need to be like A game. I need to make sure I can take this guy out of it. I need to make sure like I don't get hurt myself. Like, obviously it's impossible not to get hurt, but like,
of course,
try and hurt him more before he can hurt me. The mental state, like,
man. That's funny in what you say too, because our coach in Canada would say we go to spar in other gyms, And when we go to spar in other gyms, it wasn't a fucking spar. You're going down there to fight 3 or 4 guys, and you knew that was going to happen. And it's like, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
there's no fucking friends down here. He says, you go in there, you don't talk to nobody. He goes, the coach comes up, you say hello, that's it. He goes, we're not here to make fucking friends. We're here to get working. That's it. And that's the mentality. And you've seen, me and my brother were fine with that. We grew up in Ireland, like fucking scrapping and stuff. So we were cool. We knew the crack, like, but some of the guys that would come with us, like they'd be joking around, laughing around. We're like, okay, we're going to see what happens in a few minutes. Like, few of them went in the ring there and got their ass beat. And this is just sparring. And I was like, man, these guys are taking this as a joke. Like, we were dead serious about it. Like I said, amateur, professional, doesn't matter. You're going in there with a guy who's training hard and his aim is to take you out or try to take you out. It's like you said there, my shit was like, I'm not fucking making friends or saying hello to nobody. You know?
That's it. Like,
you gotta have that dog.
You have to keep that at the back of your head all the time. As much as the fighting is cool and it looks good and all that, you have to remember, like, this is like a kill or be killed situation, because one shot can damage you for life. You know, these are the risks we take. Like,
100% serious. And I mean, I applaud you for doing Muay Thai, because it's like I've dabbled in a few different. I only competed in boxing, but I dabbled in K1, and there was a martial art in Cambodia called Bokator, their national sport. I went there to train in that, and I done a bit of Muay Thai, and I was like, fuck me. Like, I couldn't imagine going in and having a Muay Thai fight, because with boxing, you can be slick. I just hands. He's only got 2 hands, and that's all he's allowed to use against me. So I'm pretty cool with that. I'm slick. But when it came to Muay Thai, it's like these motherfuckers are closing you off in a second with their kicks. So it's like trying to use any kind of slickness. I was like, I'm not doing it. They wanted me to take a Muay Thai or a K1 fight in Northern Ireland before, and I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. Give me a boxing fight and I'll do it. No, I'll take a K1.
Yeah, and
the thing. No, work away.
Go ahead.
Finish what you want to say.
Oh, I was just saying, in your recent fight that I was watching last night, some of the kicks you were kicking the other guy with, man, they looked fucking vicious and like lethal, like anything.
It's sore, all right.
Really? Wow. Like anything. I guess you're getting hurt too, right?
That's it. Like, you're inflicting pain on each other, really. Like,
yeah. Do you condition your shins by kicking hard things? That's actually kind of more of a wives' tale. To be honest, I don't think like, more of a what?
Say, like, Thai box, a wives' tale.
Kung fu.
Oh, wives' tale. Okay.
So, like, I don't think, like, the Thais don't actually be out there kicking trees and kicking hard stuff. I think it's just like reputation of, like, kicking heavy bag, like, you know, kicking pads, sparring. It kind of, your shins just get conditioned from that, like. And like, if you take a bit of, like, I've often took maybe 2 or 3 months of a break after a fight because I might be injured, and then by the time I go back, my shins will be a bit, like, softer. So, like, it takes a while to build it back up, you know.
Well, you're probably building loads of scar tissue in your shins, right? Which will help them, like, take more in the future.
Yeah, I've and you know what, like, they're quite lumpy. Like, you know, there's a couple of lumps and bumps in my shin at the moment. Like, so it's just the lumps are molded into my shin these days. Like,
I doubt that's testicular cancer, so you're probably all right.
I better check that.
Fuck. So when you first started fighting them, you said you fought the European guy, you were 15 years old, but that was amateur. Because I'm not sure about Muay Thai. Like, is there an amateur league in division in Muay Thai, or is it strictly because they always betting over there when you're in Thailand? It's like it's so, like, in Europe and the rest of the world, Thailand is the only place where they don't really have amateur Muay Thai, because it's from the get go, like, it's elbows, knees, and it's all the 8 limbs. That's what I was thinking.
In Europe, it's more like censored for, like, you know, just to develop it, I suppose, like, because the kids over here wouldn't be used to it, and, like, there's certain people wouldn't go. Like, I started fighting professional with elbows at 17, which is quite young, like, in Ireland. Like, you know, it's not really hard. I think I'm probably, like, I'm the youngest ever Irish champion, I'd say.
Fuck yeah, man.
I think I'd probably be the youngest at 17. But like, so there's the amateur scene, and then it goes like C class. C class is like just 2 guys to take off the shin pads, and they're just fighting standard, punching and kicking the knees. And then you've got B class. So B class is a little bit different. So when you're fighting B class, you can knee each other in the head. You're allowed knee each other in the head. And then when you go professional A class, full Thai rules is called, it's elbows to the head, knees to the head, like, everything goes, like, so you go through these stages, like, and a lot of fighters, like, might not get to that A class level, you know, but, like, if you're really dedicated, you can get to that stage in your career. Like,
you'd have to be, like,
it was 2 years. Like, I was training 2 years before. Like, I went from, like, 15. I had maybe like 10 or 12 fights in a row in like a year and a half, 2 years. Like I was literally like all the amateur fights I was having was like I was having an amateur fight like maybe like the start of September. I'd have another one the end of September. 2 weeks after I'd have another one. And like when you're that age and like I was in school at the time, so like it was a lot easier. Like I worked a full-time job as well. So like back then it was a lot easier to like train all the time. Like these fights were so easy because I wasn't getting as injured and stuff. So like back then I probably had like 5, 6, 7 fights a year. But like over the course of 2-3 years, like that built up like a lot of experience. And then when I made my professional debut, was in Cork when I was 17. Like it's been a roller coaster since then of like just trips around the world, like injuries, like scars, like stitches, like it's just been one mad. Like, I still sometimes like can't believe like how it's got here, like
Man, can I ask what were some of your worst injuries?
So I've had like my eardrum got busted.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that kind of sucked.
In the middle of a fight.
The worst. Yeah, like the second or first round, like your man kicked me in the head and my ear like swelled up. I actually won the fight in the end, but
what do you do? What do you do for a broken eardrum? How do you treat that?
I had to go to like an ear specialist, and he had to drain all the pus out of it, and like he had to stitch it, and like just mad. Like that was probably the worst pain I've ever had in my ear. It's my left ear, so I'm pointing at it. But that was probably the worst pain I ever had.
But you were able to fix it and make it normal again?
No, so like my left ear, my right ear is fine, but I've got a cauliflower in my left ear, and I can't use AirPods or stuff like that. Like, so I have to use like the big headphones. Yeah.
Do you have? I'm sorry. Do you have tinnitus? Tinnitus in your ears? Like the constant.
That's from loud noises. I
didn't know if maybe busting your eardrum would cause that. Okay.
Oh, actually, maybe. And that happened. So that happened in the middle of a fight, and you instantly you would have felt instant pain, but you got adrenaline too. Like, and that was the second round. You said,
yeah, your balance and stuff kind of went off as well. Like, so I knew it. I was aware of it. Like, I was aware of it. So like, anyway, after the fight, like, I remember I was like, the fight was in England, so on a Saturday. So like, it wasn't until the Monday till I got back to Ireland to like get a check. So like, I was walking around like with a swollen ear, and then I got the operation done on it on the Monday or Tuesday or something like that, and it was about a week with a bandage over my head trying to keep the air compressed to my head and stuff. But look, that was probably the worst painful injury that I've had. I've had like a couple of like I've got 50 stitches on my face at the moment as well.
50.
My God.
Yeah, so I've got like 18 or something stitches here in the middle of my face alone.
Holy hell.
I've got like
you still have them in you still have some stitches in right now?
No, but like the scars, like
Jesus, yeah.
I've got like 15 stitches in my eyebrow, like I got 15 stitches here.
Me too, actually. I got I think 17 right here. I wrecked my motorcycle being a dumbass.
Worse injury.
Yeah.
Holy hell. And
Me too, I walked into an elbow. That's like a dumbass.
A head-on collision with a fucking Thai elbow, huh?
Fucking hell.
So I was going to say, that's the thing as well about Muay Thai. It's so easy to get cut up because you got those fucking sharp elbows coming down. You got those knees. It's vicious.
I like to feel like I've got away with it. Like, karma's been good to me because I've handed out, like, I've got 50, but I've probably handed out 150. So, like, I'm quite lucky. Like, I remember I was fighting this guy in Japan. Fought in Japan when I was, I'm going to say 18. I think I was 18.
Oh, nice.
So I was fighting this Jap, and he was the world champion at the time. I wasn't. Yeah, he was the current world champion. They rang us and they were like, "Do you want to fight Shiro?" His name is.
Yeah.
They were like, "Do you want to fight Shiro in Japan in 5-6 weeks or whatever it was?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, to be fair, my coach Martin Horgan, he kind of we've got this mad bond, so like he'll accept a fight before he tells me. Because I know I'm going to do it. Like, there's never been this. I've got 42 fights in like 10 years. So like the fact of like he'll ring me and he'd be like, "Oh, we're fighting." He'd be like, "We're fighting in a Sam One championship,"
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he accepts it before I accept it because he knows I'm mad enough.
You're going to take it.
You know what I mean? So like when this fight in Japan came around, I remember I was fighting and it was like the last round, and I elbowed him, and I gave him like 17 or 18 stitches like in the middle of his head, like, you know.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and I fought a French guy before, and I gave him 21 stitches, like 3 scars in his face. And
Holy shit, you really have given a lot of stitches.
I've gave out a lot more. I've gave a guy in England 15 stitches in his lip. He had to get plastic surgery. And
there's lads all around the world with fucked up faces from you. They're like, what happened to your face? That fucking this fella Ryan Sheehan in fucking Cork, man.
At least they'll remember me somewhere. But that's the reality of it. Like, you know, you're some days you're the nail, some days you're the hammer. So like, I've been very lucky to be the hammer.
Yeah, man. That's, well, I guess being a 3-time world champion, you got to be the hammer most of the time, right?
But that's the thing, like in this sport, it's not about like who you're fighting. Like, it's not about how many fights you have. It's about who you are willing to fight. So all my losses are against world champions.
Wow. I see.
And
you're losing against the best when you lose.
Yeah, like that's the. So like in type Joe, like you hear in boxing and MMA, like they're trying to protect their records. You know, you like see boxers like had 10-0, MMA fighters like 5-0. Whereas like Thai boxers could have. Like Sammy, for instance, he had 373 wins, 48 losses.
Wow.
Unreal.
You know, he had 400 odd fights. And then you hear like some of the boxers only have like 10 wins, like 0 losses. But like in Thai boxing, it's not about like how many wins or how many losses you have. Yeah. It's about who you are fighting. It's always been about like, like I lost to Sammy, but it was more the fact like I had the courage and to go and fight Sammy, because like a lot of people were like, oh, you're mad, like. But I fought a couple of Thai champions over the years anyway. But like he was the Lionel Messi,
the pinnacle of it.
The pinnacle of it, like, you know. So, and that's always what I was aiming for. Like, so all them fights years ago, like we're just building up,
preparing you for that. I have a question for you too. It's like before that fight or before any fight, how are the nerves and how do you deal with the nerves? Like, how are you before a fight?
I'm quite a nervous person in general. Like, you know, anyone who knows me, I'm kind of like a bit of a warrior. So like, I try and mask it, but I'm not very good at masking it, because like I'd be pacing around the room and I'd be just like, oh my God, like in my head I'm like, I'm going in here, like there's thousands of people watching, could get knocked out in the first 10 seconds. That's kind of what I'd be. That's my way of like thinking about the fight. Like I'd be like, all right, just don't get knocked out in the first 10 seconds. Get through the first round, you'll be fine. And then after that, doesn't matter what happens, you know? So like I'd be kind of like, I try to listen to some music. I know a lot of people like lie down and relax, but I can't relax before a fight. I have to be, like if I'm fighting in Cork in my locals, like the stadium here, I'm out with my friends like up till like it's time to go in and get ready. So like I could be out wandering around the stadium watching some of the fights, or just sitting with my friends or something like.
So you feel less pressure?
Nah, there's always pressure. Like,
that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's
because like since I've been 17 or 18, 19, kind of like I've always been like a headlining fight in Cork. You know, I'm always like one of the headlining fights in Ireland. I've headlined a lot of shows here. Like I've been the main event for probably 10 or 11 events. So like there's always, and I've always fought. Like I'm always fighting. Like I said, I'm going to fight for a world title. I'm fighting another world champion. So it's like, you got the two best guys. So like there's always a bit of pressure, like, you know. And especially like over the years, I've kind of got more popular with, like, you know, people come to my fights and just the bigger support and bigger, like, I don't like to call it a fan base, but like a fan base, you know.
Well, of course, well that's what it is, yeah.
Because I know, but I see these people every day, so I still technically call them my friends, you know. But, like, on a wider scale, like, a fan base, I suppose. But so like I could have 200-300 people like just coming, like, you know, for me, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but like I remember when I started off fighting locally, like when I was amateur, like I was bringing 10-20 people, like my close friends, and then the next fight would be like 50 people, the next fight would be 100 people, and then it just kind of capitalized from that. And I'd say no, when I fight back in Ireland, I probably have a bigger crowd again, because of like it's been so long since I've done it, and like the fights are getting bigger and the scale is getting bigger, and
for sure.
I'm growing in my career.
Especially fighting in the one championship. Like that's something I used to watch years ago. Fucking one. I always said it was UFC, then one, then Bellator. I don't know. There's something about one I like.
That's because like one has the Muay Thai, it has the MMA, it has they do kickboxing,
Yeah.
K1, whatever you want to refer to. They do grappling.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they do like wrestling. So like you could be sitting down and you might not be a fan of like MMA or Muay Thai,
Yeah.
but you get a mix of both. So like you can appreciate the fact, all right, there's two guys having an MMA fight here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big fan of it, but I still appreciate two lads going and fighting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they like.
Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
work with
real quick? Oh, we're talking about one right now.
Yeah, the one fight championship.
Does that what you were just saying? Does that mean like each fight is a different style? Like there might be an MMA fight, and then after that a Muay Thai fight, and then for that something else. Okay,
that's why I put it up there after the UFC.
I feel like it personally. I the UFC is quite boring. Like the fights can be quite mediocre. Like whereas in one championship, like the guys are really trying to fight. Like because it's a different culture in Asia.
Yeah,
we don't like Muay Thai fighters. They don't really do it for like their ego. It's not for like. It's not to be this big personality. Like it's more like it's a culture. It's a way of life for them. So like these guys are doing it every day. So like the fights are way more entertaining because you can have two guys in an MMA fight who might not do nothing for 3 rounds.
Just coasting, yeah. You're sometimes that
because they're worried about their, like you were saying earlier, 8-0, 5-0. So they're really fucking careful and take no risks. Yeah,
where you could have the two Thai fighters going in the ring and they could have like maybe 150 fights each.
Wow.
And like they're still trying to they're battling it out like for pride. It's not nothing to do with money. It's nothing to do with like how big of you a superstar you are. It's about your pride. Because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. In that, like, that's the respect and the culture in Thai boxing,
You sense that intensity too when you watch a Thai fight. Like if you watch a Muay Thai fight, you just get that fucking intensity out of it. Like they play that music as well. Like, you always hear that in Thailand. You're like, oh, there's fucking some Muay Thai going on in here. Just the intensity of it, like you said.
I always say to my friends as well, if you, like, a lot of people, like, I'm the only kind of real person in Cork who does Muay Thai as well.
You're the only Irish Muay Thai fighter that I've known or heard about.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I'm like I grew up like boxing is huge in Ireland.
Yeah,
it's huge. And my younger brother, he used to do a bit of boxing, like he never competed or anything.
Yeah,
he used to do a bit of boxing training. And my dad used to do a bit of boxing when he was younger.
Yeah,
but I never had like I never wanted to be a fighter. Like that was nothing. That was something I never would have imagined I would have became because my dad always thought it would have been my younger brother who would have became the boxer or like the fighter. So like the fact that I switched around and I was the fighter, like my dad still laughs, like he was like, I can't believe you're the one that's doing it, like because like it wasn't something I was planning when I was young. I wouldn't ran away from a fight like when I was young, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the fact that I do it now and I do it professionally and I'm quite good at it, it's like it's mad. Like
how old are you now?
I'm 25.
Wow, and this all started, what'd you say, when you were 15?
15, yeah. So I'm 11 years training next month, and I'm 26 as well next month. So it's been a mad decade.
And when you first got into this, you're like, this is something I could do forever or for a long time. Do you still feel that way?
Oh yeah, like my heart. But see, everything I do in my life revolves around Thai boxing. I have to be concerned about Thai boxing at all times. I have to like consider Thai boxing all the time. So like I don't drink anymore. Not that I don't like it. I just, when you want to be the best, you have to sacrifice things, and you just have to be, because with one championship you can get a call anytime as well. So like I don't really drink in general. So like I just went off it completely. So I need to be 85 to 90% fit all year round, and I can't have that if I'm like hungover. If I'm drinking a lot, lads.
Man, that's great to hear that. Actually, that's great to hear that. That's that dedication you need. Like, and I think that a big problem in Ireland is drinking. The drinking culture in Ireland is fucking terrible.
That's it.
Celebrated around the world.
It is, yeah. It's and like people like pride themselves off. I can drink 10 pints. I can drink 20 pints. I'm like, that's not impressive. Like that's you killing yourself.
Yeah, very true. And like you said, like having a hangover or preventing you from fucking getting in the ring and potentially taking an opportunity. Like, so yeah, I think it is a big issue in Ireland is drinking. Like, I'm glad to hear someone like yourself is sticking to that road that you seem to be destined to travel down, and you're not letting something like drink affect it. Like if something's not if it's not affecting you in a positive way or your Muay Thai career in a positive way, then fuck it off. If you have the willpower and the determination to do it,
That's the thing. Like since I've been young, I've always had like, I suppose it's down to my like being surrounded by. I've always had good people around me. Like I can't fault anyone who's around. Like my mom, my dad, they're very supportive. Like they're very supportive.
That's awesome.
I didn't come from a big like family of like drinkers anyway. So growing up, like there wasn't a lot of parties for the family and stuff. So like it was kind of quiet. And then like I suppose like when you're 16 to like you're 17, 18, 19, like your early teen or your late teenage years, it is easily led on with drinking and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I've drank loads of times and stuff. I used to drink, but like I used to go on the weekends with the lads and stuff. But there comes a point in your life where you need to like really, if I want to be successful in Thai boxing for like the last 10 years of my career, I really need to dedicate that little bit more just to be a little bit more successful at it. So yeah, it was an easy option for me.
So then you probably don't smoke either, huh?
No comment.
Sweet. Next
Are we
question.
talking cigarettes or a bit? Are we talking cigarettes or a bit of ganja? I don't smoke.
I didn't say what.
I don't smoke cigarettes. They're bad for your health.
You won't get into that.
So you said you confidently have 10 more years in your Muay Thai career.
I'm hoping to. I want to try and set the standard high for Irish Thai boxing. There's been guys who've done it before me. Like I always say, like you speak things into existence. So like from an early age, like when I started getting really competitive into the fights and the fights started getting harder and harder, I always said like I want to be a world champion. Like that was something from like an early age, like 15, 16, like from very early in my career. I was like, I said to myself, I want to be a world champion, like, and to be to do it in a reasonably fast time. Like I done it in about a year and a half, 2 years, probably 3 years.
Jesus,
that's pretty.
That was down to me, like accepting. Like I accepted every single fight. I never pulled out of a fight. I always fought higher opposition. Like as I said, my first fight was against the European champion. The guy in my second fight, he had like 50, 60 fights. Like my next fight after that was hard, and I was always like the underdog. So I was always like level, trying to get the level above what it is, and that's just been down to like determination and just being like believing in myself that I can compete against these guys and get there. Like man, so I've always speaking into existence. Like I became world champion. I've always said I wanted it, and like everybody knows what the WBC belt is, the green
World
WBC
Boxing
belt.
Council.
Like, you see Tyson Fury have one. You see Floyd Mayweather have one.
Mike Tyson.
You see Katie Taylor have one.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson has one. Like and from a young age they have a Muay Thai world title as well. So like my goal was like I want that WBC world title.
So can you tell us about that actually? Because I seen the pictures of you. You had the belts with you at some football stadium in Ireland or something. And I seen the Cork City football. I seen the WBC belt. And I was like, they got a fucking WBC belt for Muay Thai. So can you tell us about that and tell us about the fight and everything about that?
Yeah. So like the WBC it's the biggest, it's the most prestige belt in the world, as everybody knows. It's the most recognized, the most like it's a beautiful belt, the green and gold. It's been involved in Muay Thai, I think, about 20 odd years. Like, there's been since like 2005, maybe, I think, there's been a Muay Thai world title. But like getting to that extent, you have to kind of like break into the rankings. Like I've been in the rankings for maybe six years. So like I went from like 19, I think I entered at like 19. And I beat the number 13 guy, so then I went up to like number 13, and then I was like hanging around like that spot for like a couple of years, fighting like the number 10, and then it's like the Premier League, you go up and down, so then I got the chance I broke into the top 10. I beat some guy, got put in number like 9, I think.
Yeah.
And then anyone in the top 10 can challenge for the interim belt. So then I won the interim belt against the Thai. I actually fought. Like that's the thing as well. Like people don't realize, like when I'm fighting for these world titles, I'm fighting Thais for them. I'm not fighting like a guy from like up the road.
A soup can, yeah, a tomato can.
You know, I'm not fighting some guy from like Germany. I'm fighting like a Thai. The naturally gifted guys at it who might have 150 more fights than what I have. So like, when I won the interim belt, the international title, I knocked out a Thai, and that put me up to like that gave me like that was like it was mandatory.
A lot of eyes on you then too, huh?
Yeah, because I had a big opportunity and fight for the WBC world title against a lad called Jamhad, who like when they talk about Sameh, Jamhad is just up there as well, like, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like he'd about 400 fights as well. And I beat him for the WBC world title. So I beat one of my favorite fighters.
Holy hell.
One of the best fighters in my hometown for a WBC world title.
How did that feel?
To my family. That still to this day, like I kind of be like, like I don't look at myself sometimes like to that scale. Like I'm glad that like it's my friends and my family who celebrate it more than what I do, because my celebration was going back home having a pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the belt, like looking at the belt and talking to my dad about it, like. So like, my friends went off and done the celebrations for me in the club. That's how it is, like. But that's how it's been for all the years. But like the next morning, like I remember I went to McDonald's because obviously been in diet camp, like in the training camp.
Do you cut weight? Do you cut much weight to fight?
But no, I keep myself in pretty good shape all year round. So like I'm never too far away from like fight camp weight.
Okay. And you fight? Do you fight at 55 kilos?
53 to 56.
53 to 56.
Whoa. Yeah, wow, that's pretty light.
In between. Yeah. I'm quite small, you see. Like I'm only like 5'7". I'm quite small. Like,
same size as me.
Wait, I'm 5'7".
Who you call?
I'm quite big so for my weight. I'm the smallest person, like my group of friends, and like everywhere I go, I seem to be the smallest person. Yeah.
Huh.
Sometimes I feel like that as well, but then I'm like, whatever.
But yeah, like it's just been a mad roller coaster over the years. Like I've fought like that was my biggest win. Probably the proudest moment of my life. Just winning the world title in front of my mom and my dad. That's what you do for at the end of the day. Like it's to make them proud. You know, it's fuck everybody else. It's to make your mom and dad proud and the people that's in your circle. Like I've got a quite good circle. Like I've got a good group of friends who I hang around with on a daily basis, who I go for food with and stuff. Yeah. Very supportive. Like they're always like reminding me like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Like, you know, I might not see them for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm still getting messages off and said, how's the training going? So like, and then you're like, oh, it gives you a good like relief knowing that people care about you. So I'll be doing that. Like in work, I work a full-time job as well. So like I try to balance like being a professional Muay Thai fighter and I work as well. So like, and I've been working in the same place for 8 years as well. So like I've been kind of balancing Muay Thai and working in this like at a high level for.
Is there a possibility of you ever being able to quit the job and do the Muay Thai, just live off that, or is that even a thing?
It's unheard of, like, because like the sport never had anything like that before until one championship came along. So hopefully, look, fingers crossed that one championship can work out and get a few more fights on one championship.
I mean, that was an entertaining fucking fight as well, and it was competitive. Like, you know that.
Yeah.
And Sameh's a tough motherfucker. Like he's just like a machine coming forward. You know, I wanted to ask you too. As two not MMA fighters. There's two Muay Thai fighters I like, and one of them I was a big fan of. His name was Sanchai. He's retired is he retired?
Nah, he's still kind of fighting, but he's not fighting like high level. Like,
yeah. What do you think of him?
Guys, like. He fought here 2 or 3 times, I think, in Cork.
Ireland, in Cork.
Yeah. My trainer Martin, my trainer Martin, he's like one of the biggest promoters in Europe. So he brings a lot of like these superstars to Ireland, for the Irish crowd. Really, like, you know, he'd bring them over. He'd bring over some of this stuff. Like he'd bring over Sanchai, and he might bring over some like French fighter to fight him or something, you know.
Sanchai he's little crafty fucker. Like he's always fucking showboating and sticking out his tongue and just his face.
Yeah, like he's the Floyd Mayweather of Muay Thai. Like.
Muay Thai, but he can like his fucking kicks and he's fucking.
Yeah, he'd fuck you up like, and he's like 5'5", like he'd fuck you up.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even fight. Well, I would fight him, but like,
Yeah.
you want me mad?
just his trickery, like, you know, his feints and his trickery. You wouldn't know what the fuck to expect, what he's gonna do, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and of course Buakwa. I used to watch him.
Boko was here actually as well.
Really?
You know, Boko actually, yeah. So Boko actually presented me with my world title.
Holy
Fuck
shit.
up.
So when I beat Jamhad for the world title, Boko actually put the belt on me.
Man. So that was another like, that's another just dream come
That's
true,
another, exactly, like these are the guys.
Yeah.
But I always say this to people, like I always say this to the young lads in the gym. If you get good enough at Thai boxing, you can meet your heroes. If you get better, you can fight them.
Oh my.
It's just one of them sports where, like, if you like, I've been very fortunate to, I suppose. Look, then again, it's down to my own dedication, hard work too. But I've got to know some of these like guys who would have been superstars for me back in the day. I've got to know these guys now personally, or like I'd be interacting with them on Instagram or Facebook, or you know, they know who I am, like, you know. So it's kind of like, it's one of these sports where if you get good enough at it, you can actually meet your heroes, like.
That's a great little saying. What was that again? If you get good enough, you can meet your heroes. And what was the other bit? Say it again.
If you get better, you can fight them.
Fucking great.
That's crazy. It kind of makes me think of like Muhammad Ali or something. I can't remember if it was from a movie or a TV show, but some of the people that beat him in the end were like, you know, they grew up like admiring him and looking up to him. And then when he got old and, you know, couldn't do it anymore, they beat him.
Larry Holmes was a sparring partner.
Yeah.
You know, and then he whooped Muhammad Ali. Like, but Muhammad Ali should have quit boxing a long time before he did. But hey, look, you can't never tell somebody. They'll quit when they want to quit.
Well, I think it was his family. They wanted him to keep fighting because they wanted the money.
Man, that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But I seen a video of Muhammad Ali recently. It was back from when he fought George Foreman, and it was kind of hitting on something you had said earlier. He was in the, you know, the little hallway as you're walking out to make your walk out to the ring, and he was standing there, and all of his fucking team were just glum faces because everybody thought George Foreman was going to smoke Muhammad Ali. He'd beat fucking Joe Frazier. He beat everybody. He was punching holes in the fucking heavy bag. He was just like a machine. And Muhammad Ali was like, he said, if I had a face like all you guys in here, he said, I wouldn't be able to go out there and win. He said, but I don't. He said he was like giving all his team a fucking talking to on the way out. Like, you know what I mean? He said, this is why I'm going to win, because I believe in myself. And I was like, fuck, yes. That's the mentality you have to have. And that's the mentality he had. And that's why he's fucking great. You know?
Exactly. That's it. Like you just said it there with that. Like you have to, because I've seen guys do it, like lie to themselves about being able to go in and do it. Like, and then they get seriously hurt and then they don't hang around. They don't have a lot of fights. But like, I've always believed that, I know I'm a tough person. Like, you know, I don't have to prove to anyone I'm tough. I don't have to go like when I was for the fight last week, I was doing a photo shoot and we had to do like a promo video and stuff. And it was very funny because they were trying to get us to scream in the camera and do all these tough faces. And I was like, I couldn't do it. Like I honest to God, man, I couldn't do it because I was laughing because I couldn't scream in the camera. And the man who was doing the video, like he was like, I can't. He was like, tough people don't know how to act tough. People who aren't tough can act it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I just don't know how to act tough. That's my thing. Like I'm always walking around with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how to act tough. Like,
but that's it. Like you said, a lot of the guys that aren't tough act tough.
That's it. Like, you know.
Yeah. When I was in the US, I was a little bitch and I acted so fucking hard. Truth be told, if a fight started, I'd be running.
Yeah, I'd be running too. Don't worry, I'd be running the opposite way as well.
Growing up in Cork, like, did you get many street fights? I imagine as a fucking Muay Thai fighter, you didn't. I mean, you might get some idiots though. Drink was a lot, you know. Did you get many?
I've been quite lucky. I've never really been approached in that manner ever. Maybe once or twice over the years, but then people would like, somebody else would always go, "Oh, that's Ryan Sheehan." You know, you don't want to, I've had a few of those. Like I've had a few of those over there, but I've never even really been in a street fight prior Muay Thai.
Really?
So like the fact that I went into a fight in sport, like everybody around me was kind of like, "What is going on here?" Because I was that type of a person till Muay Thai. I'm still not even like if you see me on a daily basis, if you know me, like you'd be like, my friends in work be like, "How do you even fight?" Like because I'd be in work like, and it's not the first thing I think of. I don't like going around talking about that much, you know.
That's
people kind of
crazy.
be surprised, like.
But that's it. That's just that switch. Like growing up in Mayo, I got in street fights all the time as a kid. And then once I learned how to box, I never got in a fucking street fight again in my life. And then I only realized then from actually training and boxing and how to move your feet, I was like, Jesus fucking hell. I hadn't a clue. And the majority of people, the average person doesn't.
I wouldn't even try and punch somebody in a fight. That wouldn't be the first thing that would pop into my head.
Not at all.
I'd be just thinking about like kicking them in the leg. Because in a street fight, like I'd be just trying to, like, if I was to fight someone in the street, I'd be just trying to kick them in the leg or kick them in the stomach so that they can fall.
Yeah.
So that I can go away. It's not like I won't stand there fighting that person. Like
100%. And that's the realization I came to after learning how to fight. I was like, if I punch someone in the fucking chin with I'm probably going to break my fucking hand. I have more chance of breaking my hand than anything. Or if he goes out cold, he's going to hit his head off the ground and potentially die. So I'd probably looking into taking out that front knee with a little stomp kick. I like the front stomp kick. They don't like it.
That was one of your first pieces of advice to me.
Love it.
Kick him in his knee.
Yeah, or like a teep to the solar plexus right there. You know, feint a jab and then bang, hit him with a. But hopefully I never get in another street fight again. I didn't after I learned how to box now, but I only realized then, like I said, I hadn't a clue. And the average person on the street, I would describe it now as like I've been on a plane 50 times. Doesn't mean I know how to fly a fucking plane. You know what I mean?
Like,
so people,
my friends, like even like they see me doing it, but that doesn't mean they can do it.
No.
You know,
absolutely not.
Like you have to. It's a sport. Like at the end of the day, it is a sport, and it's something you have to train. You have to be disciplined at.
Man, the technique that's involved.
Good, like, exactly, but it gives you good morals. Like when you fight, as like, a lot of fighters who I know and who are like dedicated a lot of the time to it are genuinely the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. Like, because it gives you this kind of like respecting and. It's kind of like, because Muay Thai is a cultural sport, and there's big tradition. It's respectful. It's, you know, everybody greets each other. Like when I fought Samir last week, I'm not joking. So when I arrived to the hotel, we had to go down to the lobby and do like a meet and greet thing with the staff. The first person I saw was Samir in the lobby.
Holy hell.
The first thing we did, we hugged each other.
Oh shit!
We went over and just like gave each other a hug and shook hands and had a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And, like we went away, and then every time we bumped into each other, like up to the fight, it was the same. It was like a hug. So like that's the tradition in Muay Thai. So it's not like this gangster attitude. There's none of that. Like there's nobody with big egos. It's just like at the end of the day, it's just two guys trying
You're
to
going to fight no matter what goes down. You're going to fight.
You've really broadened my horizon about Muay Thai. I didn't know there was so much culture behind it, and also how different it is from other combat sports, and also the volume that you guys fight, man. It's more about quantity,
the
right?
Output.
Like 300 fights, 200 fights, 100 fights. Fuck, I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to fight the best. It's
exactly
insane.
That's something I want to do for the rest of my life. Well, for the rest of my career, I want to try and do it for myself. I want to try and fight. Like, I don't care anymore about like winning world titles or how many losses I have, how many wins I have. I just want to keep going out there and fighting the next best person. If I fight Samir, I lost to Samir. But in my mentality, I want to fight someone who is up here.
You must have a good mom and dad, man. You got a good head on your shoulders.
I want to go here. I want to fight like the next person above Samir. Who can I try and improve against, or how can I go about fighting this fight differently? Because every fight's different, and you take a lot of loss. Like when you lose, you learn a lot. When you win, you learn a lot.
Right.
You just have to merge everything into one and just try and for the next fight, try and capitalize on that.
Man. Were you ever tempted? I mean, let's say after the rise of Conor McGregor, like I was in Canada when he started coming up, or when he was like getting big, and it's like before I left Ireland, it was like boxing was the big thing. And then when I went back to Ireland after Canada, I'd been boxing. And I was like, right, you know, I want to hook up with a trainer. And it was just MMA gyms everywhere. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And it's like everybody was doing MMA, and it was like boxing was like kind of taking a back seat. And I was like, fucking hell. So were you ever tempted to be like, hang on a second, like I've got the stand-up skills here for sure, learn a bit of jiu-jitsu and then try to get into that line of thing, like the MMA world? Or what's your take on that?
I've never I don't mind MMA. It's not my sport. I don't really pay much attention to it. I've never had interest in doing it because I've always had that vision. Like I've been surrounded by Muay Thai fighters since I'm young. So I've always had like Irish champions around me and European champions around me. So my mentality was like, I want to be that person that like inspires a next generation of fighters
That's cool.
under me. Like, you know. So yeah, people have asked me loads of times over the years, like, would I do Muay Thai or MMA? No, I wouldn't, because I would get absolutely mangled, because for one, I don't know how to defend. And I have no interest in learning how to defend the ground, like, you know, because that's not my skill set. So I've always had that vision, like, I want to be a Muay Thai fighter, but I want to be like,
that's brilliant,
the best.
That's
I want to
great.
be the best Irish fighter of all time. Like, that's where I'm trying to take this thing. I'm not trying to whatever. I want to be like, I want to be that Irish fighter, because we've never had, our history in Ireland is quite small. We've only had a handful of guys who've gone to like do big things, like Stephen Malidi. He went to Thailand. He got ranked in Thailand, which is like, that's the greatest thing you could achieve. He got ranked in Thailand. Stephen Malidi, Sean Clancy, one of my training partners, one of my teammates. He signed to one championship as well. He's a lunatic. Like he's fought Sanchez. Like he's fought Sanchez.
He fought Sanchez, really?
But he lived in Thailand. He lived in Thailand for a couple of years, so he fought Sanchez, and that I've always been surrounded by these guys, and these guys are 10 years older than me. So like I've always had somebody to look up to close to home.
Okay.
So to me, I was always trying to be like, get to one championship. Get to fight like the likes of Sammy, John Hod, Tipiot, you know, all these big names. And that's always where I've tried to take it. Like, so I'm like, I want to be that guy who opens the pathway for the next.
For the next Irish guy, be that influence.
I'll do the hard work. I'll do all the hard work, and then the guys under me, who come up after me, they can have it easy. They'll have an easier route into it.
That's good. That's a good.
I want to set a legacy, like, and because, like I said, it's not about how many world titles you have. Because I have 3 world titles now. I've achieved everything I've set out to do. I've ticked all my goals. Honestly, at 25,
I was going to say,
I've done all my goals at 25, and it's great that like now people respect me for that, and it's nice to know that like people come up and ask me about my fights, and like where I live in Knocknaheeny, a lot of kids up there like will come up and be asking me for like my pictures out my belts, or they'll be like, I'll fight you for your belt. So like that's, even if I can get one of them kids interested and keep them off the street, that's the real goal of it, like, you know.
Yeah, keeping kids off the street, huh?
That's what it done for me. You see, like I grew up in a place where like there was a lot of joyriding, drugs, like, you know, crime. So like, I always say me as a person, I was very fortunate, like, to have a safe zone, the gym. Like the safe zone was the gym for me. So like it kept me off the street. I was in the gym with the lads like Monday to Sunday. Well, Monday, like every night of the week, really. And it kept me off the street. Like it just kept me from going down like any stupid paths that I like could have potentially went down, you know. Because like I said, at 15, 16, you're really easily led on. So like
100%.
Instead of having instead of being out on the street with the lads, like I was in the gym, and I was in the gym with like everyone was 10 years older than me nearly. Like I was kind of one of the youngest at the time training. And now I'm still training in the same gym, Cyan Warriors. So now I'm like the senior fighter.
That's cool.
Yeah, like, so all the lads who I started off with, who were fighting and competing back then, they're all retired now. Like they don't fight anymore. They don't really be training, because they're older, you know. They've got families and they've got wives and they've got jobs. So like I'm now the senior fighter, like, in my gym, and I'm the longest fighter for my trainer at the moment. So like it's just mad. It's mad. Sometimes I don't believe it. Like,
is that your job, coaching at the Muay Thai gym?
No, I actually work full time in a warehouse as well. So like I'm a supervisor in a warehouse. So I run like a warehouse. I look after a warehouse all day long, and then that's like my downtime is Muay Thai.
Oh, Jesus, man, that's amazing. Because where I grew up, we had all the drugs and all that, but there wasn't a boxing gym. So I did the exact opposite of what you did. And but I've heard stories about Harlem and New York City back in the day, you know, and the boxing gyms was the only saving grace they had to keep them away from heroin and crack and stuff. So that's absolutely incredible that you took the right track. And I hope anybody listening can follow in your footsteps.
And that's it. Like, and you know what? Like, it's gave me great. Like, I got my job through Thai boxing because one of my trainers actually worked in the place at the time. So he got me a job when I was 17. Yeah, I was 17. So he got me my job then when I was 17. So I got my job through Muay Thai. I've got my friends through Muay Thai. Like, I've got to travel. Like, I've been to Japan twice. I've been to Iraq for a fight. I've been in Arizona for a fight.
Wow.
I've been in Paris, Germany. I've traveled Thailand. I have traveled the whole world because of Muay Thai. And I've got to meet some of I've got to meet some of my favorite fighters. I've got to hang around with these guys. I've got to know these guys personally. All down to just showing up to the gym every night. That's what it's down to.
It's not every day you get to meet somebody that's like truly aligned with their essence. You know what I mean? And it sounds like you really are, man. Yeah. That's absolutely amazing.
I just want to try, like, you know, and like anybody, like, because I'm a hard worker, like, and I've always been a hard worker. Because I grew up my dad always had a job. My grandfather always had a job. So I always seen men in my life getting up, getting it done.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I went to the Thai boxing gym, my trainers, Martin is my head coach, and he's been like instrumental, like, over the years. Like, if I'm having a bad day, like he's the kind of person I would be like, I don't feel like training today. He'll always guide you in the right direction, you know. Because it helps when you have a good team that pushes everyone on to be more successful. And I've been fortunate, like,
it's good to have that. Like,
that's what Paddy here does for me. He's my boxing coach, and when he's found me crying in the park before. He's like, "Come on, you need to hit the pads." And,
exactly, like, you need somebody to give you a kick up the hole every now and again.
I would see in Ireland growing up, especially when I was younger and stuff, and different things, even with my brother, like, and just people that were hanging around with them, like, why are you hanging around with them fools? Like, do you know what I mean? Not that I'm talking down about them or I'm judging them, but it's like, I can see where they're going, and if you go along with that, that's where you're going too. So, you know what I mean? Hang around with people that give you something that you know, bring positivity to your life, that bring some inspiration, that have some knowledge, that inspire you some way, instead of hanging around with people that just aren't doing that, like, you know. So anyone that's listening, you know, like, fucking, it's who you surround yourself with.
I've always like that as well. Like, my group of friends that I've got a big group of friends. You know, I don't have just one select group. I've got a big group of friends who I be in touch with a lot. Like, but like, a lot of people know that what I'm doing, so I don't be around all the time. So like, a lot of my friends might go drinking all the time. Like, they'll always give me an invite, but I never go because I'm busy. You know what I mean? So like, and when I'm fighting in Cork, my friends celebrate it. As I said, like, they go out. Like, if I fight in Cork, my sister, all her friends will come. My brother, all his friends will come. They all get new clothes. Like, the girls will go get their hair, their makeup done. They get dresses. Like,
giving them a night out.
Like, all the lads will go to the pub early, like, get a few drinks into them, and then they'll come, and like, then you hear like when I'm fighting, it's like the place is like erupting. So like, it's been a celebration. Imagine. It's a celebration for everybody, because it's a moment in life that we all get to witness, and it makes for that 15 minutes of me fighting, regardless of what happens in the fight, everybody that's there watching me has some bit of the joy from it. It's a bit of happiness for them in that moment.
Man, well, I'd love to get the chance to see you fight at some stage. We probably have more chance of seeing you fight in Thailand if you fight there, because we live in Taiwan, so we're not too far. We're only a 3-hour flight from Thailand, but
you could fly over
in the future. Yeah. I was there a couple of months back because they legalized certain herb.
Oregano.
That's
So I went over there just to see what was going on, you know, see test water.
Yeah, that was very interesting afterwards.
So if you're ever fighting over there again, just drop us a message. If we're free and we're not doing fuck all, we can hop on a plane. We'll get over there and
for sure.
Perfect. I will definitely.
So we'll let you go in a few minutes, but give us a little shout about what your future plans are, and do you think you'll fight in one championship again, and what's the story?
I'll always say, like, my attitude is I'd fight anyone, anywhere, anything. So like, I will answer the phone.
And you ain't lying.
I'll answer the phone exactly. Like, I'm not lying, and that's the thing. Like, people be looking at me going, "You are off your game," because I don't act. Like, so people be like, "You looking forward to going elbowing people?" And I'm like, "Yeah." so people think I'm off my game. But like I said, I fight whenever. I'm hoping, like, I'm not too injured. I'm just kind of recovering. I've got like small bit of a dead shin, dead leg, foot's a bit sore. The rest of the body's fine. So I'm kind of, this week I'll be back in like training full time now, like Monday to Friday, from Monday, like this week on.
Yeah.
So hopefully by July, June,
By July, you'll be back again, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man.
Best of luck to you. You got
But I
the
don't
heart
have
of a
I'm
warrior.
not set in stone, like not set in stone, but hopefully by then I'd have
With the one, just a quick question. We interviewed a guy called Blake Perry. He's an MMA fighter out of San Diego, I think, California. He fights in Cage Warriors. He's fought in Bellator as well, but we were asking him, like, how are you able to fight for so many different organizations? You know, we see like UFC guys or whatever that are boxers and they fight like a contract, or they sign a certain contract. With one, is it a one fight contract, or will they like say
they're kind of lenient, like if like one is a bit different. They leave you kind of like if there's nothing happening for a long time or something, then I think they're kind of more like, oh, one, earn a bit of extra money, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't really know how that works, but
So they
I think they're kind of, they leave you go earn, because there's not a whole lot of money in Muay Thai, so like if they know you need to earn money, I think they're a bit lenient like that.
Okay.
Wow. So like nice.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and their first show is in Denver in next month. So like their American debut show is in Denver with Mighty Mouse on it.
American debut, first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Give it 12 months, you'll see the change that it's going to have. Like, one championship is going to be. It's already the highest viewership in the world, but it's going to explode.
No shit. Wow. Let's invest, Paddy.
Man, I didn't know one had never held an event in America before.
Let's buy some one stock.
No, this is the first one now. So once they get into America, UFC and One Championship are going to be competing. Trust me.
No shit.
I'm saying they got Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson fighting on their debut card.
On the debut card, Sage Norcut's fighting.
Oh shit! He looks
so
like
it's quite
Street Fighter. God, you can.
Yeah. So it'll be quite big, and it'll be important. It'll be an important show for the sport. So, and they've got a couple of Muay Thai fights on as well. Like Rod Tang is fighting, so they'll have like.
They're going to showcase it.
They'll have a good display of fighting on it. Like, so it'll be good to broadcast that.
That's cool. That's good for you as well, isn't it? I mean, that they're going to be displaying Muay Thai, because a lot of Americans or people over America as well, like, or even in certain parts of Ireland, they wouldn't know fuck all about Muay Thai, or they wouldn't know, be like, what the hell is this? This isn't MMA, or what? Why aren't they taking each other down or whatever?
Yeah. And that's the thing with One Championship as well. It's in the Muay Thai, it's in 4-ounce gloves. So the Muay Thai is in 4-ounce gloves. So like,
I was going to ask you that.
Just pinging each other, like there's no room for like error in them gloves whatsoever.
UFC is what? How many ounces?
4 ounces,
6, I think.
Is it
6? And then Muay Thai is 4.
And the thing like with Muay Thai is like MMA, if you're getting too many smacks in it, you can wrestle them to the floor and you can take them down.
Yeah.
Muay Thai, it's not like that. You've got two guys trying to like bouncing off each other, like trying to take each other.
The output that I see in Muay Thai fights is crazy. Like the amount of punches and kicks that are thrown per round is insane.
Really?
Like I think like Max Holloway has the record for like most strikes in a single fight. And I think it was like 1,000 or something. Like I think it was like something like that. Like a Muay Thai fighter could have 3,000 or 4,000 strikes in a fight. You know what I mean?
That's mental. That's absolutely mental. And they're vicious blows, like them kicks, man. I swear.
Yeah, the kicks look painful. But I guess it's painful to give them too, huh?
It's when there's an elbow and you can see this elbow coming at you and you can't even do nothing but like, like you can't do nothing about it. Like you're just like ping, and you're like, oh shit.
I hope that didn't cut. I hope that didn't even mark.
Oh man.
And that's the thing. Then you're always waiting for that like that drop of blood, because you're like, oh. And then when someone gets cut, once you get cut, it's like survival mode. So if I get cut, my head is all I'm thinking about is, right, I need to start swinging elbows at him.
Yeah.
So like I'm cheeky enough, I usually throw the first elbow.
Why not?
I usually tend to be the person to throw the first one. I'm always that like, I'm just like, fuck it, boom, and then it turns into like the kicks go out the window, the punches go out the window. It's just two fellas in trying to elbow each other for like a couple rounds.
Just trying to fucking cut each other, slice each other up.
That's all it is, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like two fellas just trying to cut each other to pieces.
Jesus. Well, anyway, man, thanks a lot for coming on and having a chat with us. And,
Yeah, dude,
Thank you
that was
very much,
awesome.
man. This is great. This is a pleasure.
Yeah, and the best of luck with your career in the future. We hope to see you on One Fighting Championship again. You never know. Like I said, if you fight in Thailand, we might end up going over there to see you.
Definitely.
Who knows?
Definitely.
Who knows? Look, hopefully I have something to announce pretty soon. So
Yeah. All right, cool, man.
Hopefully.
And we support original music on this podcast. So today, after we have our little chat, we're going to finish with a song from a guy from India. I think he's from Mumbai, living in Germany. And his name, I'm going to fuck this up royally. His name is Andrew Singh Kohan. And this song is called Nickel and Steel.
Beautiful.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Peace.